Good morning, everybody. Let's have a look at the charts then, shall we? We'll start with Bitcoin, move our way down. So basically unchanged, really, so the same as yesterday. And the same as the day before, and the week before that, and the week before that, and then the week before that. So it might have felt a bit chaotic yesterday. It looked at everything going to wrecked city, but there's been a fair old bounce here. And basically, as much as the downtrend is still taking place, it's actually quite slow for Bitcoin. You know, altcoins behave in the way that they want to behave. The ones that are weak, that are positioned down in downtrends with death crosses across the board on all time frames, are going to get hit harder than the others. All right, you know, it's busy because it's half term here, so it's just play date after play date and kids after kids. So I don't really get a chance to do much at all. In fact, you know, there's not much to do anyway. All those hero longs that I was in the other day pretty much all got stopped out. The ones that I didn't take profit in. Good news is I'm in a new one, and this one is the Litecoin situation, because I was talking about this. Was it just yesterday or the day before? How this move down into this trend line is an opportunity. So an opportunity, there it is, and a bounce and a recovery. From there, we should be looking to go forward from here. And believe it or not, I've got a 50x position on it. 50x position. Yeah. So we'll see where this one takes me. It's the only position I've got in at the moment. But with this kind of volatility, it's hard to monitor a handful of futures positions anyway. But yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Again, I'm a man of my word. I'll show you the results on the Patreon, which is tonight actually, or the Telegram. You can just join that for free. Right, so let's actually do some TA then, shall we? Let's think about what it is that we're looking at now. Right, so the money flow index is low. It's hit a significant low, but it's nowhere near enough for it to be oversold. Not that we ever think about the money flow index as something that ever gets oversold or anything really like that. You can look back at significant dips in the money flow index, and you do often see bounces from it, but there's just as many occasions where you see dips where you don't see that kind of bounce. It's only the higher low basically giving you the divergence, which then does form the uptrend. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 in this case, and move up to the top. So I'm looking at this now as a potential for doing one of two things, either going straight up or straight down, just like everybody else in the world seems to be thinking. There isn't really any other way about it, and you're tuning in and going, well, that's no good, because that's what I'm thinking. It might go up, it might go down. Yeah, I'm afraid it's the human condition, right? This chart right now does suggest, until we've broken out above 97,700, it is a downtrend across the board for all moving averages, which are all pointing down. The next one below us is this, which is 85,000. This is just the daily. If you go to a weekly, it's slightly different, and I like weeklies, definitely like weeklies, especially on things like Bitcoin stocks, big ones, because they're better for the long run. And at the moment, we've still got a line in the sand at 90,600. So if we do come down to there, that's also a major position. So let's take it to a 4-hourly and just boil this one down again, because you know, we're going to have to start thinking about this realistically. What do we have here? So we've got major drive, low. Okay, that's the low. So that could be the low. After that, we've got some regular bullish divergence, hidden bullish divergence on the money flow index and on the RSI. That is never normally enough for me to call for any kind of bounce that goes into anything other than a dead cat bounce. We've already seen the dead cat bounce that we were talking about into both death crosses. Bang, there, technically lower low. Bang, there, technically lower low. So you can see that this is a downtrend still, and it's strengthening because moving averages are diverging away from each other. It's a tough and bitter pill to swallow, because, you know, until we scrape lower, it's going to be difficult for me to call the low, like the bottom, but any one of these moves could be it. It's just based on the normal technicals that I would use. We're looking at slowing of momentum, or the change of the way that volume moves back into the chart with the money flow index. There's not signs of the bottom, but I don't want anyone to get too upset by that, because I'm really not saying that it's going to come down massively lower or that it's going to come down much further at all. I want you to recognize a few things First of all, obviously we've got our own chart here, Bitcoin, which is still bullish to the max. So long as we're above this area, bullish to the max. And any one of these bounces, including the one from yesterday, could be the one that takes us back up to at least this trend line 106, or even in the short term back up to 100 or 102,000. I think any of those bounces is perfectly fine. It might feel like super bullish when you see Bitcoin back up at 100,000, but it's really just a baby step. We're thinking about and hoping for the rest of the market to do something a bit more than that. In the interim, though, this is the thing to focus on, right? So we've got the Dixie, and this is where the problem might be, right? So I was talking about this yesterday. And again, if you want to join the Patreon, I've got a live stream tonight. We're looking at all the charts. For the most part, I have to say, though, most of the charts don't look good. Most altcoin charts don't look good, and it is a matter of just writing them off and thinking about the market as a whole. I'm not trying to devalue my own business model of Patreon, but I'm just saying at this very moment in time, you look at most altcoins as nothing more than a derivative of the entire crypto market, and that is basically Ethereum and the total two, and obviously Bitcoin. But when we're looking at this Dixie, we are getting supported now on the 20 and the 21 exponential, which is the center of the Bollinger Band of the weekly chart, which is where if you're going to get a big bounce, maybe even a full reversal, it happens from here. If you get a closure below this area on the weekly, and again it's only Wednesday, this is where the fun starts really. This is the top that's clearly will be in at this point for the Dixie, and it's the trickle down that we are expecting regardless anyway. Between now and the rest of the year, I'm going to keep this squiggle in here to see how my expectations work out throughout the rest of the year, because this is generally what I'm looking to see, marking the end of the bull market for stocks, crypto, the lot, and then bounce back up to serious highs, like what we saw before when I told you that it was going to happen. People are like, no, it's not going to happen. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Dixie's going down. It's going to break down because we've been watching it go down. It's been going down for weeks, and that means it's going to have to keep going down for more weeks. In fact, it's going to go down for the rest of all eternity. No. Just like I thought that we were going to bounce around here. No, what are you talking about? I saw other people say it's going to break down from here. It's got to break down. It's going to break down because it's been going down for weeks. It's going to go down for weeks more, and then it's going to go down for eternity. Unlikely. So there was a very good opportunity for a bounce, and unfortunately here is a good opportunity for a bounce. Doesn't mean it has to bounce, but there is a good opportunity for one here. More likely to bounce here, that's all I'm saying, than anywhere else. And this over these next couple of weeks this is where we really do have to think about what we are going to do if it does. At the moment, I'm knee deep in crypto. Obviously, I've been like that for a little while now, since basically end of December throughout into January was when I was collecting all my pieces for this last stage of the bull run, which is what I'm expecting. And again, between now and September, so that's going to happen immediately. And I've just been playing futures positions really in the interim with all this madness up and down, because there doesn't seem to be one particular direction it wants to stick to, where I'm comfortable holding any position. So I'm going high leverage, short term. That's basically all I can do really in this period of the market. Over a period of months really, I'm expecting Bitcoin and crypto to turn back up and continue to move back up, just as I'm expecting this to go down. But over the next week, 2, 3 or 4, maybe even a couple of months, we might be still chopping around. But we will know with a bit more clarity where crypto wants to go if and when the Dixie closes below 106.5. On a weekly, it has to be on a weekly, because that is party time basically. Now I still believe in party time, which is why I'm holding tons and tons and tons of crypto. But I'm not saying I'm so early to the party. I'm just shuffling around. I'm like David Brent, waiting for the meal to finish on the Christmas special for 3 hours until the party begins. That's what I'm like, walking around alone in the office, checking the ink cartridges in the printer, because there's nothing else to do for what feels like a long time. So that's basically what's going on right now. I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting, and recognise actually, for the most part, I am particularly early, probably too early. But that doesn't mean I'm wrong, not yet. The up, and it just means I get to enjoy that all of the party. So we're just going to see how this materializes. I don't see any way to call for any particular direction over today. The 4 hourly is bouncing from a horizontal support here on the Dixie. If we move ourselves back over to Bitcoin, it's doing something kind of similar, where we've come quite close to this 92, 93,000, where we could easily bounce from here, but I can't call for full reversal until we've reclaimed 1 moving average, 2 moving average, so horizontal, and then obviously at that point it'll be clear to all. So the only thing I can say is, for me, holding crypto is fine. I'm okay with it. My projection is still unchanged. It's just taking time. Stake it where possible. Don't stake it for too long, because you'll need to get it out by the summer. And in these day-to-day trades that we're doing, if we're doing them at all, it is, for me, it's a futures market. In, out, in, out, in, out. In the case of my Litecoin one, I am relatively hopeful, however, because I believe there to be a fix on this chart, and it is responding exactly as we expected it to. So I'm hoping it's going to work out, in dramatic effect. Don't get me wrong, the market can turn around instantly. The low could be in today. And if you're looking at Litecoin's chart, you'd be like, well, this is getting ready for a supermoon move. And if the rest of the market can behave like Litecoin is, we're already in the reversal. The low was in a million years ago down here at $80, and since then we're up like 68%. So, but we're not all Litecoin. We're not all XRP. We're not all of these things. All of these things, this isn't how we are. For the most part, the crypto market is other things. Just quickly leaving it here then. Ethereum actually has reasonable strength brewing here, and could easily make its way back up to 2,800. Then we got 2009, you got 3,100, and then that's it. Bang, all the way up. That's alt season. That's basically what we're talking about, an alt season there. It's a very unpopular word because it doesn't ever seem to materialize. The Bitcoin dominance chart is still technically bullish, so we can't expect too much from that either. But I don't know how many YouTubers will tell you this, or how many people on Twitter will tell you this. In the short term, it's up and down, it's all over the place, it's side to side. There's no real edge, I would say. I would focus mostly on the higher term timeframes, which even in the case of Ethereum, which is pretty awful looking chart really, it's still bullish on the weekly, being above this 200 simple and exponential, where in the past we have based from bam, 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 bang, psh, new local high. Daily, it's pretty poor, but if we can just get ourselves back above this box, we'll be in business and everything will be plain sailing if Ethereum can get above 3,100. And I have every expectation that over the next few months that's where we will be, and once we've done that, it will be straight sailing all the way up to the previous local high and new all-time highs. So you could look at it as an opportunity down here for those with the patience and the emotional fortitude and the conviction that it will work out over a period of months by looking at a weekly or a monthly chart suggests that is the case. Day to day, 4 hourly to 4 hourly and lower, it's going to be a bumpy ride, mate. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Anyway, I'll leave it with you there. If you made it towards the end of the video, let me know. That would be really good. And if you have already set up a BYDFi account using my link, just send me a message on Telegram and I can send you $25 worth of free futures trading money, basically, just to get your foot in the door. You don't have to use your own money, just use this free money, basically. And if you blow it all and completely gets liquidated, it's no big deal. It was never your money in the first place. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.